teammates. Good morning, cadets. My name is Cadet Captain Koch, and today I will be talking to you about Detachment 1 fundraising. Okay, this is what I'm going to cover. First of all, what's the problem? What kind of shift in thinking do we need to make? I call this the mind shift. How we can make the job easier. Some keys to success for my plan. A personal case study of mine. We can take action now, and then I'm going to follow up. So, what's the problem? This is how it is now. First of all, we raise money when it's needed. It's a very reactive system. We see that we need money soon, or that we need money even in the past to pay back our detachment, and we'll raise money for that. Usually we have to scrape to make the minimum for desired operations. We do things like bake sales that aren't very effective. We spend a ton of energy on not a lot of profit. Has anybody ever heard or said, I could have just gone to work for this last 8 hours and made more money for the detachment? Anybody?
I have said that.
Yes, I've said that at least a few times. I could have just gone to work for the amount of hours I worked and made more money for the detachment. I call this the get a job effect. Too many people have the get a job effect going on. It reduces morale. People don't want to do these fundraisers because they don't feel like they're making a real impact. And then usually afterwards, there's not a whole lot of money left over, especially at the end of the semester. We don't have much left for the new wing commanders in a general case. So, slide please. So this is the mind shift that we need to make. This is how it should be. We should have money falling on us. But that's not going to happen. So how it really should be is we need to raise money proactively instead of reactively. What I mean by proactively is more than just looking ahead maybe a month or 2 months to the money we need, but looking to the next semester. Ideally, in the system I'm thinking of, a wing staff will enter the semester with all the money they need for their semester, and their only job will be to raise money for the next semester's wing staff, if that makes any sense. That gives you a whole semester to put together 1 or 2 solid fundraisers and make the money for the next group, instead of having to get money when you need it. We should set the minimum above the maximum, meaning that if we're projecting a minimum need of $4,500, we don't want that to be the amount of money we raise. We want to make $5,000 or more the amount of money we need to make. That way we have extra room for unpredictable things, anything that the next wing staff wants to do that maybe you didn't think of. We want to raise that kind of money. We also need to find a way to spend less time gaining more profit. This is just, I mean, it's like business. Fundraising is business for us. We need to find a way to make the maximum profit with the least amount of effort put into it. And then we need to leave everything, like I said, for the next wing staff. Everything they need should be there when they enter the semester. So how do we make the job easier? First of all, we're going to be officers. Let's be lazy about this. We need to find a way to make this happen where there's 3 people holding a big bunch of money in. Of course, it probably won't be 3, but what we need to do to make that happen is create 1 to 2 large, repeatable fundraisers. The keys to this are that they're large so that they get enough money for the detachment, and then they're repeatable so that we don't have to go and do the same job over and over again. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. Continuity is big. As we know, continuity is big in everything we do, and especially in fundraising. If you can, instead of remaking the fundraiser every semester, if you can improve it and make less work every time around, that's so much easier to make money. We can, eliminate the problem. So some keys to how this is going to work. First of all, pre-sale is everything. You can make $1,000 at a car wash if you're advertising it the day of. You can make $5,000 at a car wash if you're advertising it months out. Same with any other event, spaghetti feed or anything that you want to do. If you pre-sell, people are more willing to give money when you can give them your case instead of just putting up a sign saying, "Come get your car wash." And then usually you make a lot more profit. Another big key is you cannot do more than 2 fundraisers per year. This is because you'll probably be going to the same people for your pre-sale. You'll be going to your mom and dad, your friends, your family, your neighbors, and that kind of thing. If you come to them 5 times a semester asking for money, what are the chances by the 5th time they're going to give you money? 0. So you want to be able to get a lot of money in one time, and you tell them, we only do 1 fundraiser per semester. How much can you give for this, and we will be out of your hair for good. Another thing that's big is a cadet rewards program. This is something that isn't in place that I think should be. I call it Skeeter Bucks. It's basically, you would pick a percentage for the amount of money somebody raises for the attachment. So say Cadet Evan raises $400 for the attachment through pre-sale, and say the Skeeter Buck amount is 10%. She would get 40 Skeeter Bucks that are left in a Skeeter Buck account that basically she can spend on attachment coins, sweatshirts, dining out tickets, anything that she would spend money on in the attachment, yearbooks, that kind of thing. That gives her incentive to sell, and with that incentive, I believe it more than pays for itself to get people to go, earn more money for our attachment. And then finally, the biggest key that I've been talking about, money raised has to go towards next semester. That allows for tons of prep time for the fundraiser, and make sure that the fundraiser occurs whenever you want it, on whatever timeline you want, but that way you have the timeline you want, and you can earn the maximum amount of profit at the end of the semester. Okay, this is my personal case study. I was a Navy Junior ROTC at Service High School for 2 years, and both years we did this car wash. We would enter the year, and people would start pre-selling right away the amount of whatever. I mean, they would hand out these slips at the beginning of the year. You take this slip around your neighborhood to your friends and family, whatever, and you ask them to pledge. And you would say, we're planning on washing 100 cars on this date. Can you pledge 25 cents a car or 50 cents a car to have us wash? Of course, by the time everybody got done advertising to everybody about this free car wash, we got more than 100 people that would go. So we always washed at least 100 cars. So we got all the pre-sale money, which was usually close to $8,000, and then people would come to the car wash and donate money. So we would get about $10,000 by the end of the car wash. And that would last us for the entire year. So we did one fundraiser for the year. That was one of our big selling points. We only do one fundraiser a year. Can you just put some money into this, and then we won't bug you until next year? And people were very willing to give. And we ended up with $10,000 for the entire semester. We didn't do any other fundraisers. We didn't need to. It allowed the majority of Cadet Energy, 95% of Cadet Energy, to go into other functions for the rest of the year. We never had to worry about fundraising. It just got rid of the whole worry. So, huge worry for the cadets and cadre alleviated. Nobody had to worry about money because it was there. It was really an amazing system. They still use it today, every year without fail. So, exciting. So how do we take action now? We need to start building a money structure. I'm a civil engineer, so I thought I'd bring a house into this. We need to build a strong base of money. So that means that this semester we need to raise money for 2 semesters, because we have to get enough to get us through this semester and raise enough for the next wing staff to start this system. So that means we need to do small-scale fundraisers to support current cadet wing functions this semester, and then one large repeatable fundraiser to do this spring. We need to get the first one done this spring, which means raising, like I said, enough money for 2 semesters. It's going to be tough. It's going to take a lot of cadet energy, but if it goes off well, if we can set it up, then it shouldn't be a problem for the rest of, as long as this attachment is around. Luckily, Honor Guard is creating the first pre-sale car wash this attachment has ever seen. In April, probably the 3rd week of April, so somewhere around there, we're going to do the first pre-sale car wash. It's going to be based around the one I did for 2 years with success, and hopefully we'll be able to knock out a lot of money and start the system going. So in conclusion, I covered what the problem is, the mind shift that we need to make, how we can make the job easier, some keys to success for the job, a personal case study of mine, and how we can take action now. This concludes my briefing. Are there any questions? Yes?
Is there no continuity for a fundraiser now? Is that why you said, like, you have to reinvent the wheel every time?
There's not a lot of continuity. Usually people come up with, let's do a bake sale.